This edition of MacVoices is sponsored by Molecule, the reinvented air purifier. For $75 off your first order, visit molecule.com and use the promo code MacVoices at checkout. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, I don't know what's going on. It seems like Jim Tierney is becoming a regular on this show. I don't know why, but I guess it's because they have so much cool stuff going on at Digital Anarchy. Jim, welcome. It's good to see you.
Hi, Chuck. Nice to see you again.
It's always good to see you, and you are becoming a regular because you're doing some really interesting things, and every time I hear about them, it's like, yeah, I got to get Jim on the show to tell people about this. So as we record this, you are probably headed or close to headed to IBC, where you'll be talking about some of the new things that Digital Anarchy is going to be announcing. So what's going to be the topic of conversation?
A lot of it's around our transcriptive products. So we did Transcriptive for Premier, which is a way of bringing in transcripts using either AI or, you can import transcripts from a human service. So that lives within Premier. And so we're launching at IBC, and actually it's going into beta probably next week, transcriptive.com, which is a web-based version of Transcriptive. And so that'll allow anybody to, upload files, get transcripts, save them out as captioning files or whatever. But it will also allow Premiere editors to collaborate with people that don't have Premiere. So, for example, if you've got a producer or a client, you want them to clean the transcript up or do paper cuts or whatever, you can just send it to them, and they can do all the editing in a browser and then send it right back to you.
In a browser?
Yeah, so it's, yeah.
Okay, that's very nice. So that kind of takes me to the next question. What am I uploading to the website version if I'm in Premiere or if I'm in something else and want to take advantage of this? Am I uploading Premiere files, or is it only accepting Premiere files, or can I upload an MP4 or what?
Yeah. So for the website, you can upload whatever you want, any media file. It should take. Within reason. Probably don't want to upload a red file. It's still the internet, and you got a 16 gigabyte file. Maybe not that, but. Yeah. But certainly, if you have an MP4, works great. If you just have audio, M4A, MP3, whatever. If you're coming out of Premiere, and you're sending it to somebody, say you've got, your media, you're like, I want to transcribe this and then send it to my producer. That will save out a low-res version of the media and then upload that to, kind of optimize the upload time. And then, of course, get it transcribed. And then when the producer looks at it, in Chrome or Firefox or whatever, they'll just see, a thumbnail of the media as well as the transcript. And then they can go through and edit that and then send the transcript portion of it right back to you.
Now, we talked about this before that, that there's only so much bandwidth you all can handle that any developer can handle. So right now you're focusing on Premiere, not Final Cut, but this opens it up to Final Cut users because I will be able to export my projects, upload it to Transcriptive, get my transcript, and then drop it back into Final Cut. Will I be able to bring it back in as a closed captioning file, or is it just a straight transcript?
Yeah, so you can save it out as a variety of different transcript files, SRT, VTT, SCC, MCC, pretty much all the standard caption files we support, exporting. And also once the website is launched, pretty quickly thereafter, we should have, helper apps for both Final Cut and Avid to get the data in via XML so that, you can have it actually internal into FCP or whatever. We've wanted to create an FCP solution, for a while now, and sort of then the web app, gets us part of the way there. And then, the next step is, getting the XML data into Final Cut. But that's coming pretty shortly after the web app is done. So we're pretty keen on helping out FCP users. It's just Premiere kind of gave us the ability to do exactly what we wanted, which was put the entire web app inside of Premiere. Unfortunately, Final Cut doesn't have an API like that, so we can't take the entire web app and just have it living in Final Cut. But we are pretty keen on supporting FCP, so that's coming.
That's a great way to do it. It seems like XML is like the lingua franca of getting things back and forth to some of these NLEs. So that's an interesting approach and a great way to do it.
Yeah, it's really kind of the only way. I mean, Adobe kind of did a nifty thing in building an HTML5, interface that the developer can plug into. We'd love to see that from Final Cut, but right now it's just XML.
Right. Okay, so we've talked again about some of the AI capabilities and how the transcription is being done. Any updates there or new options or anything of that nature?
Yeah, so there's going to be a couple new options with the website. There'll be a transcriptive service. Right now, you can sign up directly with Speechmatics or Watson. You'll have the ability to sign up with Transcriptive, which will hide some of the complexity, allow us to kind of use whatever speech engine is best of breed at any moment. So we're constantly reevaluating whether Speechmatics or Google or AWS has like the best speech to text algorithm, and so that will allow us to kind of switch out services on the fly depending on who we think is better at any given time. There's that. We'll have the ability to generate human transcripts with the same functionality as the AI transcripts. So when you get back into transcriptive, every word will have time code. So as people, if you send this off to a producer and they, well, I want to delete this line, delete that line, change this word, and then send it back to you, we'll still have time code for every word in there, regardless of whether it's an AI transcript or human transcript. So definitely some big changes on the back end there to give people a lot more options, for what they want to use.
I know I said this before because we talked about it, but it was a new concept for me, editing by transcript. I mean, it's a great idea and it makes perfect sense, but it was not the way, obviously, I learned any kind of editing. And so this is just one more tool in that toolbox.
Yeah, but, it's not really that different because, part of the reason for these features is that, we've constantly been hearing it's like, well, yeah, I get paper cuts from my producer or my client where I send them a Word doc, they send me the Word doc back, then I have to translate that Word doc actually into an edit. This way you don't, we know the time code for every single word, right? So, if you send that document to the producer and to create a paper cut, which is something that people do all the time now, it makes it much easier to bring that back into Premiere. And, this won't be available immediately, but the next step from that is to be able to create a rough cut in Premiere based on that paper cut. So you can just get the paper cut back, hit a button, and it automatically creates a rough cut based on the transcript. So, there's a lot of power with, doing this kind of, editing with text, especially for when you're working with other people that are not editors and they're just the ones defining what's going to be in the script. So
this seems to be something that I'm hearing more and more everywhere in so many aspects of business. Now it's I guess it's not new in the digital editing realm, but the whole collaboration thing, it's making it a lot easier for things to pass back and forth back and forth faster and in a more useful fashion. And again, this just takes that to another level.
Yeah, that's what people are collaborating now. It's just like, how do we make better tools to allow you to do it easier? Like why are we still sending Word docs back and forth at this point when, or even Google Docs? Great, Google Docs, you can collaborate, but, you don't have, the editor still has to take that text and go like, all right, well, now I got to find the clip. Now I got to find that, chunk of video and then put that into my timeline. There's ways that we should be able to automate this stuff, and that's where we're getting to pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's one thing to collaborate on, to your point, a Word doc, a contract, something like that. It's another level of collaboration needed, or that can be made easier, I guess, by something like what you're trying to do here.
Yeah, what makes it easier is the metadata that's being attached to it. It's like, having the time code for every word, is just so critical, either whether you're searching for something, whether you're trying to do, this editing with text type of stuff. Just the fact that we have all this metadata around the text, and the text becomes metadata within Premiere, which makes it all searchable. We can talk about Power Search, which is another panel that we're releasing soon. But, just having all this metadata and then being able to manage it and find it and make use of it is just, I think, really going to open up a lot of ways to make editors' lives easier. There's a lot of fear that AI is going to take over editing or something, and that's not happening anytime soon. If you've seen anything that AI tries to automatically generate, it's got a long ways to go. But I think there's a lot of ways that you can use it to make the editing process better, faster. So that's what we're trying to do.
So I'm not going to let you get away with that tease. What is the Power Search panel?
So one of the things that we heard from users pretty early on is, transcriptive is great. It transcribes a sequence or whatever, so you can search, that clip or that sequence. But, customers are coming to us and saying, I've got 50 files, I've got 23 hours of footage, and I know that my talent said this thing somewhere, but, I don't know where it is. How do I search all of my transcripts now that I've gotten, all of my 50 files, transcribed? And so Transcriptive didn't really have a good way of doing that. And so now we're releasing Power Search, which is a new panel for Premiere that should be coming out next week as well. And basically that lets you search your entire Premiere project. It's basically Google for Premiere. So we index all the media in your Premiere project. We index the transcripts, we index markers, we index the metadata. So if you've, have location data in all of your clips, you say all right, well, what clips are just in San Francisco? You can search for that. If you know what the talent said and you don't know where it is, you can search for that. Lots of cool ways to just find footage and find where people were saying things.
This week, I'm pleased to welcome Molecule as a brand new sponsor of MacVoices. Molecule makes air purifiers. No, actually, Molecule has completely reinvented air purifiers, taking on the problem of indoor air pollution in a brand new way, destroying indoor air pollutants at the molecular level and completely removing them. That's 70 years of old technology replaced by something new, Molecule. It's hard to believe, but the HEPA filter that you're probably familiar with was developed in the 1940s and has been the standard until now, until Molecule. Molecule has been called the Apple of air purifiers, and there are plenty of reasons for that, both inside and out. Inside is Molecule's advanced technology, whose development was funded by the EPA, that addresses indoor air pollutants, including those 1,000 times smaller than a HEPA filter can trap. Outside, there's a sleek, solid aluminum shell and blue LED lights that let you know that the Molecule is functioning. Central Pennsylvania, where I live, is consistently ranked in the top 100 of the worst areas for allergy sufferers. And that's not a list you want to see your area on, especially if you have allergies, which I do. And I've seen a significant improvement in my breathing and sleeping since Molecule arrived at my home, at the height of at least one kind of pollen season. I've had a great experience with my Molecule so far, as have so many others. One Molecule customer said that she was able to breathe through her nose for the first time in 15 years. If you want to improve the quality of the air in your home or office, then you need Molecule. You can have the same great experience and save money by being a MacVoices listener. Visit molecule.com, that's MOLEKULE.com, and use the promo code MacVoices at checkout, and save $75 on your first order. Again, that's molecule.com and the promo code MacVoices at checkout, and save $75 on your first order. Enjoy cleaner, better air with Molecule. Thanks to Molecule and welcome as a first-time sponsor of MacVoices. Jim, I know you're building this stuff, so you know it inside and out. I've never worked on any editing projects at the level you're talking about, so the best thing I can do is ask it this way. What kind of learning curve is there to take advantage of all this power? Because there's obviously, as you describe it, a lot of power. And I understand it conceptually. How difficult would it be for me to learn how to use all this power?
It's easy.
It's easy.
I mean, like you got to get you have to transcribe everything. So, like if you have, if you're working on a documentary and you've got all this footage, you can just batch transcribe everything. And then the transcripts get attached to the metadata in the clips. And then when you bring those, you click the index button on Power Search. It does what Google does to, like the web. It just goes through all the metadata, indexes it all. And then once it's done that, which takes a few minutes, you can just type in a search term like you do into Google or any search engine, and it just locates it for you. So it's, I'll send it to you and you can play around with it. And, it's pretty simple. You just have to get everything transcribed. I mean, you have to have the metadata. That's the hard part, right?
Sure.
It's not, if you just ingest 50 clips, none of that's there's some metadata with that, but you really want to get it transcribed or human, AI, whatever, and then that opens up all these possibilities for search and editing and everything else.
So how about the toughest question of all that we always get to sooner or later, and that's the cost of some of this. I know that Transcriptive has, up till this point, has had one set of pricing models. What happens with the web version?
The web version, software as a service, so pretty traditional SaaS model. It's going to be $15 to $30 a month, depending on what features you want out of it. Power Search is our usual model, which is just a one-time fee of $149. Transcriptive, the Premier panel, is still a one-time fee of $299. You still have to pay to get the transcription done, so there's an extra cost, between 5 and 10 cents a minute for the AI transcripts. The human transcripts are going to be, I think, $1.25 or thereabouts. The pricing's not totally set, but it's $1.25, $1.50. So that's the pricing on it.
For sophisticated projects, for people that really need it, that's more than affordable. It's certainly a lot cheaper than you can sit down and do it yourself. So, because you're going to have professionals that are used to transcribing, they're going to have the right equipment. It just makes a huge amount of sense to go ahead and get this done if you really have that kind of need for transcription.
Well, I mean, even on the search side. So, I mean, if you have the AI do it, you're talking about $3 or $4 an hour. So it's not a super huge cost. I mean, I realize, some doc makers don't have huge budgets. So that, potentially is an issue. That's one of the reasons that we offer Watson as an option. They can, Watson offers 1,000 minutes free per month. So that's 16 hours of footage for free. You have to sign up with them. The accuracy with Watson is not quite as good as it is with Speechmatics or some of the other services, but it's free. So that's one big benefit. So if you're using it for search, Watson is actually a pretty good option. It's when you start using it for captions that with Watson you really need to clean things up. And so that's where it becomes time consuming. But, if you're just using it, if you just want to get, your 50 clips transcribed, just so that there's, metadata in there, Watson's actually a great way to do it. It's, 1,000 minutes free per month, and that's 2 cents a minute after that. So it's a really low cost option for, starting to take advantage of some of this stuff.
Yeah, and it gets you in the door. So you start seeing the benefit of it, and then you decide, okay, it's worth it to pay the extra few bucks for the better transcriptions, but that is a great way to get started. And the Watson option is available for the website transcriptive option?
I'm not sure if we're going to have it for the website. It's definitely available in the Premier version. We're still going back and forth. It's a lot of work to get the services hooked up. So there definitely will be Speechmatics and the transcriptive option on the website. The Premier panel will still have Watson in it for sure. And, I mean, I think a lot of the use cases might be like you use Watson just to get the transcript initially. So you can use it for search. It's free. And then, once you've got your cut done and you're going to do use it for captions, retranscribe that with Speechmatics or the transcriptive service, where you're going to get a more accurate transcription. And then you don't have to do as much cleanup for captions.
Okay. So this is all going to be rolled out. Well, as we record this, it'll be next week. So the chances are that it'll be live or close to live when people actually hear this. And if it's not, you can sign up to be notified when it does go live. Is that correct?
Yeah, so transcriptive.com is the website, and we have a sign-up form on there right now. We should be going live with the beta early next week, and the beta will be free. I mean, you'll have to pay for the transcription portion of it. Pay Speechmax the 5 or 6 cents a minute, but there won't be any monthly charge or anything like that. We just want people to get on there and use it. So just sign up for the beta on the website, and as soon as that's ready, we'll shoot you an email and tell you how to log in and all that good stuff. And then Power Search, we're hoping will be actually released late next week or early the week after that.
Excellent. And if you're at IBC, Jim, do you know your booth number?
Yeah, so we're in Hall 8. The booth number is 8E as in egg, 17, 8E17. And we're sharing a booth with Speechmatics. So look for Speechmatics and Digital Anarchy logos. And if you're going to be there, we'd love to talk to folks. So definitely come by the booth and get a hands-on demo of what we're talking about.
Yeah, and ask all the questions I didn't ask, and ask how it can improve your life, because it obviously can if you have the need for this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Jim, good luck. I'll be watching from afar, unfortunately, for the IBC announcements, but I don't know. Maybe we'll see. I don't know when we'll see you again in person, but we'll catch up. You'll be here in just a few months again with something else cool. I know it.
Yeah, we're developing this stuff. I mean, the AI space is pretty interesting. There's lots of ways to incorporate it. The hard thing is figuring out how to make it actually useful. It's like everyone's talking up AI as like, driving our cars and replacing us in jobs and all this other stuff, and it's not doing that anytime soon. So, it's useful, but it has a lot of limitations. And what we're trying to do is like build tools around the AI to actually make it accessible to people and practically use it in a practical sense, as opposed to this kind of like holy grail idea that the media is touting around that it understands everything, and it's just it doesn't.
Yeah,
we're trying to make it a very usable thing.
What strikes me is the difference between AR and VR. AR has the potential to really change things very quickly in a very practical fashion. VR could change everything, but it's a whole lot further out, and you're still sort of working out a lot of the details and concepts. And to your point, though, both are being hyped in a big way. So I'm anxious to see how all that goes. But on the other hand, this is, at least at some level, this is AR in action, and that is delivering a benefit that you can actually use right now.
Yeah, VR, I've been a skeptic of for a long time, and I'm still a skeptic of it. I don't think it's something people actually want in most cases. And AR, augmented reality, we'll see. I mean, most of the applications I've seen for that, it's like, what pain point are they actually solving? I mean, how hard is it to pull out my phone and look for a restaurant? Do I really need glasses that tell me what the restaurants are? But yeah, we'll see. But AI, I think, actually, there's some very valid use cases for it right now that can make life easier for editors. And so that's why we do visual effects as well. So we've looked at, can we do VR stuff? Do we want to do AR stuff? Do we want to do AI stuff? And AI just has the most promise in terms of actually creating real practical products that can really help a lot of people like right now, instead of, this future thing. It's like, we're all going to be editing with VR. We can just go like this. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's what people want.
Yeah, at least not right now. They just incremental steps.
Yeah.
Incremental steps.
For sure.
Well, good luck. Again, we'll see you back here soon. When you're always welcome whenever there's something interesting to talk about, or if you just want to come back and debate AR versus VR, that's great too.
I am happy to do that. I've been anyway. I'm a bit of a VR denier, so.
I think I hear a panel discussion coming.
Down. Bring it on.
All right. Good to see you, Jim. Thanks so much.
Right. Thank you, man.
Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices. If you are at IBC, please check out Digital Anarchy's booth and everything they're doing with Transcriptive. And if you're not going to IBC, transcriptive.com, check it out and find out what it might do for you. Until the next time, and as always, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our MacVoices Facebook group and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices magazine, free on Flipboard. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us at patreon.com/MacVoices and join these folks who help keep MacVoices coming to you. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.